Welcome to the Made for Money podcast, where feminine wisdom meets financial power. I'm your host, Christine Walsh, financial strategist for women entrepreneurs, fractional CFO, speaker, and author of the best-selling book, Be the Queen of Your Money, and guide for women who are rewriting their money stories and unapologetically rising into their wealth. Let's do this. Welcome back to Made for Money. This is Christine Walsh. I'm so glad you're here. Episode 6. Episode 6 is near to my heart as of recently, and I'll tell you why as we get into the episode, but it's called Financial Sobriety. And this is about breaking your addiction to financial drama and scarcity. And it's a great episode because it really speaks to this idea of why women, entrepreneurs, and women in general, not just entrepreneurs, but all women, get stuck in the boom and bust cycle, the ebb and flow cycle. And to preface this with money, money is cyclical. So there is an ebb and flow that goes with it. And there's a lot of boom and bust that also goes with it. So that would look like having a lot of money and then not having it, getting paid and then not getting paid, that kind of really more extreme version. So Financial Sobriety, episode 6, let's get into it. All right. So the word sobriety, it definitely, this was several months ago, hit me like a ton of wine bottles. I'd probably say, let's say back in June or May, I was like, really, so what I was working through was a program that introduced the Enneagram system. And I'm an Ennea type 7. So for any of you Ennea fans out there, I'm an Ennea type 7, and we crave excitement, opportunities, adventure. And it goes kind of super well with my rising SAG sign, Sagittarius. So I'm ready for anything, ready for a good time. And I mean, fun is one of my top values. So I'm a good time gal, even with money. I'm wondering, how can it be fun? How can we lighten it up? Right. So even in that perspective of sharing this to you. And the word sobriety, so it kept calling me though, when the two aspects of the Ennea type 7 are sobriety and gluttony. That word kept calling to me, and started to dig into, what does sobriety mean to me? What does it mean to me now? Has it meant to me? And the opposite of sobriety in the Enneagram framework, as I've shared, is gluttony. Another word I wasn't super crazy about, better than sobriety maybe. Gluttony, of course, meaning excess, overindulgence, overdoing, overspending, over drinking, overacting, overfunctioning. So when I heard these terms and the contrast between them deeply months ago, and felt the vast crevasse of contrast between gluttony and sobriety, I was beckoned to look at it all. Now, from the financial realm, have I been an overspender? Yes. Why? Probably to feed a need. Have I been an overgiver? Yes. Why? To be liked or loved. Have I been an overavoider? Yes. Why? To protect myself. And have I been an overcontroller with money? Yeah. Yes, of course. And I thought about that, and I was like, well, to keep things under control, of course, with my over controlling, and just looking at the humanity of all of this over. So I guess I have been a financial glutton, if you will, or was, or still are to a degree. So in the time after being reintroduced to this word sobriety and really looking at it through the lens of the Enneagram, I decided to take do an experiment, which I'm all about here, and see and feel what the experience of sobriety was like. And not through the work of financial health, though I am doing that work and have done that work and teach that work. And we'll get into that shortly and what that all looks like. But what through the obvious way of what most people think when they hear the word sobriety, through alcohol. So if there was ever a girl who liked to have some wine or a good time more, you could always count on me. I never partook in any other drugs, but alcohol has been the vice for many years. Outside of college, in my 20s, 30s, moving out to Steamboat, and yeah, for a while. So this particular vice was what probably most vices are, or addictions are, related to, is numbing out and of what I didn't want to see or hear or do or be. It was accessible, it's generally acceptable, actually more than generally accepted out in the world, and for the most part tasted good. Some great wine with dinner and beyond, and more than wine. I remember tasting Irish whiskey in Ireland and Kentucky bourbon in Kentucky, and having some of the best tequila in Mexico, right? The spirit there was the spirit itself. And so I was overing with it. And it wasn't really an appreciation anymore. It was a crutch. So I tried an experiment, like I said, in earlier this year, July. And what would happen if I was going all in on what I call glutton Christine with alcohol, and I chose sober Christine. So I did 100 days committed to being sober and no alcohol, and what could happen, knowing I could always go back. As a 7, options are important, so I could always go back. So as I sit here and record this podcast to you today, I'm in Mexico at a beachside fishing village with some of the best tequila at the bar at the restaurant next to me here at the resort, and I am 158 days of being alcohol free. And I'm here to tell you, it's a beautiful thing. I feel I have touched a freedom and a power that I have not experienced over a very long time, and perhaps ever, prior to me drinking, which would have been, in my early 20s, probably 20-ish. I was probably in college starting. Before that, I wasn't necessarily in the search for freedom. So has it been challenging at times? Yes, of course. Is it still? Yes, of course. And it's worth all of the clarity, all of the freedom, all of the power that I feel in an embodied place, and really the utmost amount of self-love I could have ever given myself. And this is what my invitation to you today is, an invitation to choose sobriety. Financial sobriety, because we here on Made for Money talk about money. You can certainly choose the alcoholic kind of sobriety if you choose, but maybe one at a time. So what does financial sobriety look like, and why might you choose it? Well, you might choose it because on the other side of financial sobriety is financial freedom. Probably the financial freedom you're looking for if you're here listening to me. If you're looking for some level of financial freedom, if you're here, and a new way of looking at money that doesn't make you feel guilty, shameful, or greedy. And it's okay. Like, I got your back here. Like, you have all of that going on. I've had all of that going on. And feeling the financial freedom from those heavy emotions and heavy embodied experiences is big. So we can feel that way. We'll still feel guilt. Still feel shame, and we'll still feel grief, but it won't take us out when we really get in touch with our truest freedom, our truest clarity, and our power around money. And when we cultivate that using the concept of this idea of financial sobriety, our financial power muscles get stronger and help open the space to reconcile financial guilt and shame. We really see that clearly. So instead of avoiding or over avoiding, we're actually in awareness, and it's freeing. So what does financial sobriety actually look like? And I want to start with, what is it not? Financial sobriety is not deprivation. It's not restriction. It's not turning your life boring, although all of those things, I would tell you from the alcoholic type of sobriety, felt very prominent at the beginning when I made that decision. Financial sobriety is not about having less fun. It's actually about having more freedom. And let me tell you, I'm here to say being financially sober is more fun. We get to do more fun because it's about power. Financial sobriety in the moment you stop letting is the moment you stop letting money regulate your emotions and actually start using money to support your life in the way that you choose and desire. It's presence, it's clarity, it's self-respect in the financial form. And I don't think that there's anything that's more beautiful than that when we are looking at our money. Financial sobriety looks like telling yourself the truth before the universe gives us a little smack down and tells it for us. And I would imagine most of you know what that has looked like in certain areas of your life. So financial sobriety looks like looking at your bank balance without bracing. It's like facing those subscriptions in that on your credit card statement that you forgot to cancel and you go and cancel. It looks like finally acknowledging the credit card balance or the debt balances you've been avoiding, not with shame, but a word that I often use around, but stewardship. So, a couple of things of what financial sobriety is, and then some practical tips on how to incorporate this into your world if you so choose. It's your power because you're made for money. Okay, so financial sobriety, point one, awareness over avoidance, which I just shared, right? You're looking at the numbers, you're checking in, you're not checking out, you're not numbing out, you're not trying to outrun or outpace reality and instead partner with it. Idea stewardship there. Number two, intention over impulse. Intention over impulse. You stop using spending and overspending to feel better in the moment. You stop overworking to avoid what's uncomfortable. And you stop using under earning to keep yourself small and safe. Under earning is a big thing. We'll have a topic on that shortly here around money and underpricing, under earning. I'm excited to get into that. But financial sobriety is this idea of intention over impulse. For financial sobriety is the shift from I want this now to what do I really want most? Number three, responsibility without self-punishment. Responsibility without self-punishment. Thank you. So this is super important. Sobriety isn't power, but it's the power to say, I can change this. I'm not stuck. I'm not broken. I'm not wrong. I'm learning. It's such a powerful way to look at finances. I'm learning. Number four, emotional regulation. We're regulating our emotions before looking at the bank account. And we're not outsourcing that to our bank account, right? We stop asking money to fill our emptiness, to soothe our anxiety, or to prove our worth. And we become the stable one in the relationship, right? We're often looking at money as the stable one. We have to flip that around. We become the stable one in the relationship. That's like mind blowing. When you step into that belief that you're the stable one in the relationship through this idea of financial sobriety, wow, what a concept. Okay. And then five, the heart of financial sobriety, or any sobriety for that matter, is creating space between the feeling and the action, right? It's that Viktor Frankl quote about the pause between the response to the question. It's this creating the space between the feeling and the action. There's a pause there, right? There's a breath. There's whatever you need to do to take a moment, pull back, and have that moment of sovereignty before hitting the buy button on Amazon, buying another course, or saying yes to another large investment. It's intentional. This is something I want to underscore. And it looks like something that a lot of us are good at and some not so much. It looks like listening, like really listening to the part of you that wants financial freedom at its truest sense. That's its value. When I work with women, and one of the things that I do have them do first is I take them through a values exercise for them to identify what their money values are. And more often than not, some element of financial freedom, financial independence comes up on those top 5 values. If we really want financial freedom, our greatest superpower there is going to be listening to ourselves. Okay. Number 6, it's about honoring your limits and your desires at the same time. So, number 6 part of financial sobriety, honoring your limits and your desires at the same time. Equanimity. That's all, like, period. The best tool you're ever going to have when it comes to money. And it's actually a very feminine approach to money. This is where your feminine power comes in. Sobriety, again, is not here to squash desire. It's actually here to amplify it. It's actually here to pull it into such distillation that there's an amplification, because you start wanting and desiring and moving towards and using money from a clean, clear place, not a compulsive one. I love that one. And ultimately, number 7, financial sobriety looks like being able to trust yourself around your money. Hello, trust. And this isn't because you're doing it perfectly. This isn't because you're overspending or freaking out about money or wanting that shiny thing. It's because you feel the impulse and you still can stay connected to your truest self, the one that speaks the values, hears the values, is the values of your money self, the one that's the highest money self of you. And it's such a beautiful thing, because it does feel like freedom. It is freedom from that guilt. It is freedom from that shame. And it frees you up from the highs and the lows, the boom and the bust of this financial gluttony. And for anyone who's watching the video, as I'm recording this, super fun way to hear this. But I'm doing fake finger quotes. Financial gluttony. Money is a tool, is the tool. It's not is a tool, but it's not that crutch any longer tool. It's actually the tool you steward your life with, right? When I was using alcohol, it was as a crutch. And now freedom from that is allowing me to steward my life in the way that I want. And money does the same thing. It's a tool. So what happens when you build a life from that place? You start to grow your money from a place that's grounded, a place that's sustainable, a place that's resourcing and aligned for sure. And I mean, isn't that what we really want, right? We don't want the impulses making the money decisions. We don't want our core wounds making the money decisions. We don't want fear making our money decisions anymore. Financial sobriety is the doorway to financial freedom. And we all deserve that. Every woman deserves that. Every human deserves that. And every woman is capable of this. And I'm here as your support, as your hope, as your inspiration to perhaps in 2026, and we'll get into, looking at the year ahead, that you look at financial sobriety as maybe a way, maybe an experiment, maybe a option for a time to see what comes out on the other side. Every woman is made for financial sobriety, and every woman's made for financial freedom. So as one year closes and another starts to arrive here in December, we may look at this as a different type of dry January. So here are several practical action tools to step you into financial sobriety. So the first is sacred money check-in. So this is once a week, scheduled time, set a timer, put it on your calendar, light the candle, play some of your favorite music. And for whatever that timer you set for, maybe it's 5 minutes, maybe it's 3 minutes, maybe it's a minute, maybe you don't need a timer. You look at the one number, the one thing, the one financial marker in your business that you've been avoiding with your money. And if it feels like it's something personal, then go for that. But from a business point of view, maybe your business bank account, you may look at your profit and loss statement. You may look at update your net worth statement. You may look at a credit card balance and enroll people that support you, whether it's your bookkeeper or something like that. Say, I'm doing a money check-in and I'm intending this, and can you help? Bring in the support you need to move through this sacred money check-in. So I look at it from bringing my hand to my heart, looking at the number, whatever it was. And I have done this. I did an experiment years ago where for 30 days, I looked at the bank account once a day. And I just thanked the number for whatever it was, because it's just a number. I was making the story around it, but it's just a fact. It's just a number on a paper. It can change. It does change. And so when I strip the story away from it and I look at it with gratitude, without judging it, without having to fix it, and just move on, blow out my candle and move on, that is a big deal. It's definitely a big deal. All right, number 2, next time you have some non-essential purchase to make, take a pause and ask the question. So non-essential, Amazon, easy for, kind of an easy thing. Take a pause, ask a question. What am I hoping? The question is, what am I hoping this purchase will give me? What am I hoping this purchase will give me? Think about something recent you just bought. What am I hoping that purchase would give me? And in this, you're connecting a feeling, an emotion to the purchase, because we ain't just buying things, my friends. We're actually chasing a feeling, because we're not getting more things with money. I mean, we are, but we're actually buying those things because we're chasing a feeling or a value. All right. So what am I hoping this purchase will give me? Pause. And then action item number 3, make a money decision from leadership, not emotion. So one thing that's coming up for you this week, where you make a financial decision from leadership, not emotion. So that could be a decision you might be avoiding. You think of a financial decision you might be avoiding in your business, where maybe it's hire, or maybe it's firing someone. Maybe it's raising prices as we're coming to one year ending and another one arriving. Maybe you want to raise your prices in 2025. What if you did that from a place of leadership, where your business is going, where your $1 million business owner, $2 million business owner is heading? Maybe it's saying no to a misaligned client. Maybe it's investing in support. You don't have to make the decision, but my invitation is making this decision from leadership, not from emotion. You could ask, if I really trusted myself as CEO, what would I do here? I want you to feel that answer. And perhaps you do make that decision. And you make the decision once, clean, clear, no second guessing, no emotional renegotiating. That is a financial sobriety at its leadership level. And I know you're all leaders here. All right. So to wrap up, why this all matters. When most women around money, I'll keep it real simple here. Most people around money don't need more strategy. They need to lead their finances more with clarity. And financial sobriety creates massive amounts of clarity. You will be astounded. And it gets to be fun, and it's not restrictive. And I will leave you with this. When you start making decisions from leadership, instead of boom and bust, adrenaline feel, everything starts to stabilize and you actually grow. Because growth requires no drama, no hustle, no constant, reacting. It requires steadiness. And money is a beautiful, beautiful place for us to practice with steadiness. Okay. For now, be sure to follow the podcast to get the short and sweet on money every week, and share with a woman who you know who might need a place to share her money story, to feel into her way of creating her own financial freedom. So glad you're here. I can't wait to hear what you've come up with around financial sobriety. So drop me a line, leave me a message. And until next time, remember, you aren't here to chase money because you're already made for money. Bye for now.